Hi everyone, it's your girl Melly. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my trip to Colombia and some of the things that I really loved about visiting. I have always wanted to go to South America, specifically Rio de Janeiro, but I just hadn't happened. One thing about me is that I don't have a lot of people who like prioritize traveling or want to travel or can afford to travel. So pretty much I don't have anybody to travel with. So that makes it a little hard I could go by myself, but I just still don't feel comfortable traveling alone. So I just have to wait until I can find somebody that is going that way or is willing to go, which is not the greatest. For Colombia, my friend, he was going to travel there solo, and he was trying to do the solo trip, and it became when a thing like with his friends that were going to be in South America, and they're like, oh, we're going to go, like we can go to Colombia too. So that happened, and they had friends, and then well, he invited me, so then it became a group of people going. So it was pretty awesome. And I, at first, when he told me, I was like, oh, I'm not sure because I was, a little hesitant. And then, I'm like, I've been waiting to find like a group of people to travel with. Like this opportunity doesn't come by very often for me, so I am just gonna go. When I had time, vacation time at my job, so I just was gonna wing it. It turned out great, luckily, but I was nervous at first. I'm gonna tell you straight up, I was nervous at first, but once I was there, I shouldn't have been nervous. Like it's really beautiful, it's really clean, and we stayed in El Poblado, which is one of the more popular neighborhoods, the more I don't know, I don't want to say expensive neighborhoods, but it's like the touristy area. So there's just more care for it. If you travel anywhere, you'll see usually there's areas where the tourists go, and so they really kind of prioritize those areas because that's what's bringing in money. So we stayed in El Poblado, and I think that's the first thing. Staying there, I think, was a good idea. It was close to all the to a lot of restaurants, to like to everything. It was like the center. I stayed in a little hotel that was about 60 something dollars a night, and it had its little it kind of looked like a mini apartment, so that was cute. And I wasn't too far off. I was like on the back end of the main street, so it wasn't too far from like everything else. And then there are two streets with clubs. There's a lot of clubs to choose from, so that's another thing that I really liked, because I like to dance. I didn't go out as often as I wanted to, but I really love to dance. So having that choice, and being so close, to all these different bars, like that was pretty nice. And also having the choice of all these restaurants. Another thing that I did is, shop a little bit. I really wanted to shop because everything was a lot cheaper. And so I, read about like all these different malls that were cool, had a lot of great reviews, but I'm like, where do I go that is, where the Colombians are going? That's where I want to go. The people that are, living in that city. So I asked, I can't remember who I asked. I think it was like one of the drivers, one of the Uber drivers. And so he told me there's this place called El Hoyo. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to Google it. And if I found it, it's pretty much what it is. It's like the fashion district. I haven't been there in a long time, but in the fashion district in LA, you have, stores and stores and stores covering whole blocks, and you can walk down the next block, the next street, and there's more stores. There's little like flea market type spaces. Well, this is what this is. Like just huge buildings. Each, story that you went to like had a whole bunch of stores. It's a lot. The only thing is that I found, which I think I should have known this, is that they didn't accept credit cards. They didn't accept, any cards really. They accepted cash. And this was like the day before we left, and I didn't have any more cash, and I don't think, for some reason, I didn't get more cash out. And I don't know why. I think, oh, you know why? Because I was exchanging money and then using my credit card for everything. So I didn't have any more money to exchange. So I just didn't have any more. And I took a little bit. I bought like maybe 2 things, which was really a bummer because there was so many just, random stuff. It's just like a flea market, like the fashion district, but like 10 times more busy with stores. One thing that my driver did tell me, because I took a backpack, because I'm like, if I take anything, like I don't want to worry about having to carry it with me. I want to put it in my backpack and I'm, good to go. Well, when we get there, he's like, you have a backpack. He's like, you want to make sure that your backpack is in the front. Like, don't put it in the back because that's a big like issue here. The pickpocketers. And so he's like, you'll notice like all the females, like they have their bag in the front. So that's what you want to do. So I'm like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. I didn't like feel unsafe in that space. I mean, there's just so much people, but of course you have to be aware of your surroundings. And one thing that did help me during my trip is that I am Latina, so I'm able to blend in a little bit better, with people there. But you still have to be careful because, these things are happening to people there as well. So that was pretty cool. I would definitely recommend just checking it out just because they have so much stuff. It's kind of overwhelming, to be honest, but it was still pretty cool. The other thing that I loved is going to El Peñol, which is a huge boulder that you get to climb, and then you get these great views over the lake. I think it's a lake, over the lake. So I recommend for that one to book it with a touring company because we had people that were part of our group, but they went on a different day and their company just took them straight to the rock and like didn't do anything. Then we had another person that she's like, oh yeah, I went, we just booked a car, but like you don't get the same experience because we stopped at several different spots and it was only like $30 per person. So it was really cheap. You don't have to worry about, driving yourself. You don't have to worry about the traffic or driving in a different country. So I definitely recommend doing that. We started I can't remember where we started, but we went to this little town that we took a boat tour. Ooh, that was pretty awesome too. So we took a boat tour over a lake that was man-made, and there used to be a city there. So what they did is they, moved everybody out because they wanted to make a lake. I think it's a dam, really. I don't know. My facts are, I don't remember that much. This is why I should do these videos right after my trip, but I always forget. But anyways, it's a man-made lake. In the middle of the lake, you could see where the church was. We also saw the house of like a famous doctor, which I can't remember his name, but he was known for charging people that were wealthy a little bit more so that he could give service to poor people for free. There's also one of Pablo Escobar's house there. I mean, I'm sure I don't know how many houses he had, but I'm sure he had a lot. But it was a really nice little boat ride. It was kind of hot. So that was, not the best because we were right in the front. And of course, to get the best view, you got to be right in the front, but then the sun will hit you. So make sure that you take your hat, your sunblock, all that good stuff if you're not used to that kind of heat. Then after that, we went to El Peñol where we had, I don't know, I think she said we had 30 minutes. We had a little bit of time. I was like, there is no way that I'm getting up that rock in, 30 minutes. Like, how? It's 750 steps. So it's, it's a lot. And she's like, when I do it, she doesn't do it every day because, she goes every day, but she's like, I try to do it every other day and it takes me about 20 minutes. And I was like, there's no way. But it actually took us like 20 minutes, I think. And that was like, it was hard. I started and I was like, dang, like, I'm not gonna be able to do this. But what I ended up doing is like taking a lot of breaks. And that kind of got me through it. And they do have like little areas on the side that are like where you can kind of stop and get out of people's way. And a plus about it is that going up is different than going down. So there's different staircases, so you don't have to worry so much about the traffic. At the very top, again, amazing view. I would definitely recommend going up there and seeing it. You still get a pretty nice view like at the bottom because it's on like a hill. But it's just different when you climb, all those stairs and put all the energy into it, and then you get that view. They also have a bar at the top. I don't know if they have food. I didn't get anything to drink because I'm like, you know what? I have little legs. Like, let me just get to back to the bottom because I don't want to miss the bus. Because if you miss the bus, then they're like, we're gonna. I think they wait like a couple minutes, but if you're like not there on time, they're like, we have to respect everybody's time, so we're gonna leave you. And then you gotta figure out how to get home. So I'm like, you know what? Little legs. I'm gonna start walking right now. So I went down, but my friends stayed, and they were able to, get a drink and do all that. I did have water on me, so like I wasn't like dying of thirst. But I didn't really feel like getting, a drink. I'm like, I'm just gonna go back down. I'll get a snack. I got this snack that was, what are those things called? They're a specific name, but they're like a very thin. That's not bread. It looks like a tortilla, but it's like a waffle type. I don't think that's a wafer, like a wafer kind of thing. Anyways, it looked pretty cool. It looked tasty on the menu, but it was pretty much like this wafer and then some strawberries and then condensed milk, and it was just kind of messy. So it was alright. After that, what did we do? Well, at some point we stopped to get food, and that was included actually. So anyways, our $30 were definitely worth it. One thing that wasn't worth it, not on this trip, but as far as what we booked, one of the girls found this one of a kind, exclusive, exotic, all the words that they said in there were ridiculous once you know what I'm about to tell you. But she found this tour, a club tour for Medellin, on Airbnb. And she's like, oh, this is about $50, for every single one of us. And, we should do it. And so I'm like, okay, like, let's do it. I don't drink really. So, that didn't really matter. But I'm like, everybody's going to do it. I'm going to do it. Let's see how it goes. Because they're like, we're going to take you to the best clubs. We're going to do all this stuff. And this is really exclusive. And the most exotic, you're going to have some of the most exotic drinks. Well, let me tell you, if you see that on your Airbnb, do not do it. It was pretty ridiculous. They got us to a club. There was nobody there. They gave us like this little shot. Some of the people that I was with ordered some food. They took a really long time to get the checks. We went to another place. It was like pretty lame. Things don't start to pop off like until later on. And I can't remember when the tour started, but that was kind of lame. So they're like, oh, let's just go to the last place early. At the last place, we did have like our little section. Actually, I forgot. The second place, we go, and because we were waiting for the check, we were late. So they had given our table away to somebody else. And there was quite a few of us. And she was able to talk to them, and they were able to squeeze us in an area. And she's like, okay, we get half a bottle, which sounds kind of weird, but we get half a bottle. And so some of my people were like, no, like, we'll just pay for the rest of the bottle. Can we just do that? Because that's kind of weird. There's not that many. And she should really think about this. Like, if you're going to tell everybody you're going to get drinks, you should plan ahead, because half a bottle, if you're booking like 10 people, half a bottle's not really going to give much there. So anyways, the group decided to get the rest of the bottle, and we had a drink. They did have this cool, what is it called? The aerial artist. And we got there, I think, towards the end of it, because we only got to see like a little bit of him because we were late. But he was pretty cool. And so so we sit there, we get like, I don't know, some sparklers and do all that, which was cool. Okay, but not that amazing. Then we're like, okay, the vibe really isn't here. There wasn't any music. This was just a restaurant. So then we went to the last place, which was pretty cool. Because we did have our little spot. Like the club itself wasn't anything extravagant, but since we had our little area, once it got packed, like we still had our space, which was nice. We did get I think something to drink. I don't even know. I feel like at that point we got like a little bottle, and then the rest of it was like people buying their own drinks. The music was cool. So it was like, that part was fun, but overall, when we each paid $50, and it was a big group. Like it was not worth it. Like it did not seem exclusive because we could have literally done all that by ourselves and saved the $50 and put it towards drinks. Like we could have had a way probably better night by ourselves. So I definitely don't recommend that stuff. And when I read some of the comments, and they weren't very good, but we had already booked it, so I'm like, okay, we're just gonna go. And it wasn't my thing. I didn't organize it, so I'm like, if it sucks, then it's not my fault. The other thing is the gondola system that they have in place. You can ride it all the way to the top and get some pretty cool views of the city. That was pretty awesome. We also did some other stuff that I will cover in another video. I keep on saying that, but then I'm like, I want to talk about it, but I can't because this video is too long. So I'm gonna cover that in another video. But thank you all for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so when I do upload the next video about Medellin, you will get a notification. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.